dashboards, but at the end of training we lived some connection problems and the screen was you see just map component on the screen. So I will explain KPI and text and image object again. So I will drop the KPI to my screen and in this object I will add a measure. For KPI I cannot add any dimension. In this object I can just add a measure object to this component, and I can change its formatting and colors from data menu. If I want to format my data, I can choose money or something else like that. If I select auto, it will show like this. You can change the color of data from here. For example, I will change it from blue to red. And in this menu, if you want to add a condition to KPI object, you have to slide this button from off to on, and you can add a limit from here. For example, my total sales is nearly 8,400, so I will give a limit like this, and I will write a condition for it. With this condition, I mean, if your data smaller than my limit, it have to show with red color and with attention symbol, and if it is bigger than my limit, it will show like green and its symbol like this. If you add more than one measure to KPI object, for example, you can add like this, and you can change its color and its label too. I will write a set analysis in it, so it will show me the previous year of net quantity. I will write that year is equal to my variable. My map component is create a problem for this broadcast, so I delete it from my sheet. You can use KPI object like this. Now I will add a text and image object to my sheet. Text and image object is a bit different from KPI. You can use PNG or JPEG picture in this object, and you can add a text, you can add a measure, and you can use background image for it, and you can add a link to this component. To create it, I dropped the object to my sheet and I will write something on it. I can change the size of my text. I can change its color, and I can change its alignment. If you want to add a measure, you can use this part, and you can change its color and size too. If you expand your box, this data will be bigger. If you collapse your box, this data will be smaller than the before. So I will add a link to my box. To do it, I will use URL link button. When you open the done mode, and if you click this link, you can go the URL link with this button, and you can get a background image for this box from the appearance menu. For this, you can use background image. Use background image slide with on, and when you click here, you will see a library. In default library there are some pictures, but if you add your own pictures to this library, you can use them too. For example, I will select one of them, orange, and I will say sizing stretch to fit. So my box will be orange with this background image. And I want to say something about extensions inside application. Extensions is a kind of third-party application which is developed by the end user and published on the Click branch. For example, we are using variable extension, and we are using it in our integrations too. This extension is not a default component for ClickSense or Logomite Insight, but some of the end user develop and publish it on Click branch, so we can use it. I will explain how you can use it in the afternoon, but I will explain these components. I will just explain these components. For example, this is the variable components, and you can render it as button and select field and slider. If you say choose the button, then you add an alternative. You will see like this. There is no button component in the default format, but you can create this button with using variable component. And if you say I want to render it as select, you can use it like combo box. If you say render as field, you can write something in it like this. And if you say it's kind of slider, you can use it like slider. It's very useful component, and with your integrations we are creating this extension in your system too. But if you want to create another extension, you can use click.branch.com.tr. This site is official click site. So in the project menu, you can see the extension. You can review the extension from ClickSense menu. As I said, it's kind of third-party application, but you can download this application from GitHub or something else, somewhere else, and you can use these components in your system. But before using them in your customer's project, you have to control it. Sometimes they are getting some errors, and they are creating some problems in your sheets or apps. So you have to control it before the projects. For example, this is an extension to sheet navigation extension. It will help you to link link the sheets to each other. For example, you can use it for go to next sheet, to go to previous sheet, to go to specific sheet, or to go to story or open a website. If you want to go a specific sheet like this, you can select the sheet and you can change the behavior of buttons. For example, you can change its style. Maybe you can change its color. When you say done, if you create this button, you can go to dashboard 1 or the sheet that you select on the button behavior. You can import the extension from QMC menu, and after this part I will explain how to import the extensions to your own system. Now components are like that, and we will create a new dashboards, new apps for your own queries and for your own views, and we will use an Excel files, and I will explain to how you can add an Excel files to your models. So in my main menu, on the My Works tab, I will create a new app to use your own view or table for creating a report. I will give a name. This part, in the first sheet, you will see some settings. It will used in reports. For example, if you want to change the long month names, you have to change it from here. For example, you will use this program in English, so if you want to change the long month name like January or February, like this, you have to change it from here. Or you can change the decimal separator, thousand separator from here, and date format. For example, this is your local settings, but you can change it for just this report. And if you want to add new view or new table from your database, you have to use the connection folder. We created an integration folder, logo N, and under it we will see all our tables and views with select data menu. I will select DBO as owner, and all my table and views will shown here. For example, I will use a view in this part. When I select it, all my fields are selected by this step. If you want to change the title of fields, you can write here. For example, it's my firm, it's my term or period, it's my record address, is it invoiced, etc. So if you change the title, you will see like this, load A as B, like this. And I will say insert script, and with this way I can use my own view to create a report. If we look at the insert script, you will see like this, SQL select, and there are lots of fields from my SQL server, then a part which starts with load. So this load script is very important, because if you select lots of fields and if you load just one field like this, for example, I will delete all of them. In this condition, you will just use firm field in your reports. So this selected field is not important. The important part is loaded field. So if I load my data, sorry, comma is problem. I have no error, and if I look at my model viewer, this is my model. I selected lots of fields, but I loaded just one, so I can use just the firm field in my reports. To fix it, I turn back to my data model viewer, and I will say load all of them, and I will run it again. So I saw all my fields in my model. Now I will give a new name some of my fields. For example, like that. This is a Turkish model, so it's a tiny problem for you, I think. It's not too different from the SQL syntax actually. If you give a new name to your fields, you can write like this. And if you want to calculate some fields, for example, you have net sales amount and net quantity, and you have to calculate unit price. You can calculate it like SQL Server. It's my sales total, and it's my quantity, so I have a new field like this. If I load data, this is my new field, unit price. In this screen, you can use search button for searching something. For example, I will search for customer, mean cari in Turkish. I can see the number of this searching. If you want to comment somewhere, you can use this button, comment or uncomment selected text. You can use it for get a note about something. For example, I will write something here. And it's just comment. And if you want to learn some functions, you can use this help button. If you click the help mode, all the functions will be blue, and if you click on them, you can see its properties and how you can use it and some examples about it. This is the function help mode. You can review all the functions from here. And to close this mode, you have to click edit help mode, exit help mode again. Now I will load my data again. And I will look at the sheet and I will control if I see my view fields or not. If I create a new sheet, I will see my views data, all my fields. I will add a simple bar chart to here. In authorization part, when I explain the authorization, I will use these examples, so I created a bar chart for it. Now I will turn back to my data load editor. And if you want to add another view or table to this model, you can use logo connection again. You can select more than one tables or more than one view for it. For example, in my view, I think there is no town information. So if I connect my model and if with my CL card table, I can use this part because I want to add a new field to my model. So I will go to logo and connection, and I will select my table. My firm was 2, so there are lots of fields, but I need just town field. So I will just use it, but connect to this table to my model, I need an ID, so I will select code field, and I will insert this script too. When I connect some table or model, you will see connect to your connection names. If you see this one time, you don't need again, so I can delete this part. It's not a problem, but I can delete. It's not important. If I load this data, I want to show something which is very important. I have two blocks, but there are no connection between them, so it's a problem. If I want to use all of them, I need a connection between my model and my table, so I have to connect them from code field. I have a customer code in this model too, but its name is cari hesap ünvanı. So their names are not same, so the connection is not created correctly. I will change their name, and I will try to create a connection between them. So if I write here cari hesap ünvanı as code, cari hesap kodu as code, I have two same fields here and here. Now I said load data again. I have a connection now and it will work correctly. I can change this table's name like that. This is the table name, LG 002 CL card, but if I say customer here like this, my table name will be customers. You can zoom to this table. This is my new name. In this preview menu, you can preview the tables or some tables field. For example, my customer table include 2 columns like code and town, and you can see its detail, how many values it include, or how many data has duplicates, etc. Or if you click this model, you can see its data and its sample line. In this menu, you can use the collapse and expand menu to review the tables or models. And source table view and internal table view, I will explain it the next step. So it is the way that you can use for connecting some your own view or some your own table, and you don't need to say save or anything if you want to close this page. I will close it, and when I want to log in it again from here, I can see my model, because you said load data and you load all your data from your SQL server to Insight server. And I will create a new app to connect an Excel files. So I will create a new app here. For using your Excel, you have to use your integrations data folder. You can not create a new folder, and you cannot connect to your Insight server. The data folder is shown in your integration menu as general parameter. I want to remember to you in product integrations. General integration parameters show the data folder to you. So if you copy this link to your browser and go there, you will show the integration data folder. And if there is an Excel file, you have to copy it to in this folder. My integration was logo N. So if I want to use an Excel file, I have to copy it here. I have an Excel file in my another integrations. I think it's here. This Excel file is include customer, material, and group name. Group name is a special field, special column that I create, so it's not important, but I want to connect this Excel file to my sales model or to my ST line table. To connect this field, I have to change the column title, but now I won't do anything. I will save this changing and I will close it. Now on my load editor, under the logo en connection, under the logo en data folder, I will see my Excel sheet. If I select it, I can see my column and I can see my fields and I can see my data. And if I insert the script and load data, I can use my Excel data. I will control the data model viewer. I can see my data. You can select lots of sheets. You can select more than one Excel file here, and you can connect your Excel file to your SQL query. To do it, I will write a query manually. So after it, you can see how I can connect to this with each other. I will write an SQL query. I will give an alias to this table. And I will call the field, which one, client ref, stock ref, and amount from the ST line. And I will join the items table and CL card table. And I give an alias to them. I will take the code and definition field from the CL card table. And I will join the item table. And I need items code, items name, and connecting this Excel sheet and this table, I have to change my fields title, as I said. Stock adı mean name, stock name, cari hesap ünvanı mean definition, I will give an alias, just customer name. Group adı is a special field which include a group name. So I selected some fields from my tables, but it's not enough. I have to load it to my ClickSense server. For it, I will just write load all of them, and I have to use this separator after my queries or loadings. I will control my queries if I have some connection problem. I will see it now. There is no open data connection, so at the beginning of my query I have to connect my connection, so I will say insert my connection string to here, and then I will say load data again. Fields names must be unique within table. We say load all of them. Burada client ref, stock ref, amount, code. I have items code. I will give an alias items code. Now I have no error, but I can see an attention like this. One synthetic case. What is the synthetic case? I will explain this on model viewer. So I closed my window. I will go this menu. There are two tables in my model. One of them is CL card, one of them is a view. But I am seeing three tables on this window. So if I select the source table view, I will see just two. This is the problem. If you want to see synthetic table, you have to choose internal table view. Synthetic table is not an error if you connect two tables with two fields, like customer name and stock name. The system will create synthetic table automatically. It's not a problem, it's true, but it can some problem mixed your working maybe. So if you want to delete, if you delete this table, you will see this. You cannot delete this table, but there is a way to not to see this table. If you connect these two fields, customer name and stock name, concat these two fields with each other as a unique key, so you have just one field for connection and the system will not create the synthetic table. To do this, I will turn the load editor. I will change something on my model. Customer name and stock name, and I have these two fields I have in two tables. So if I create a new field like this. I will use a separator to I connected these two fields, and I'll give a name like unique key, and I have to create the same unique key in my other query like this. Now I have a unique key field in my two tables too. So when I load my data again, sorry, I have commas. I wrote a text, but I didn't use comma, so it created a problem. Now there is no synthetic key or there is no error in my window. So when I control my model, I will see two different tables and one connection. Synthetic case is not a problem. It's not technical problem, but there is a new system created a new table. If you have, if you use two or more than two fields to connect the tables, system created a new synthetic table. If you don't want to see it, you can connect the field as key, and with this way you can not see the synthetic tables. Now my model is working correctly. For controlling it, I will turn back to app overview, and I will create a table with my Excel data and with my view. I will add a table. One of my column will be stock name, the other one will be group name. My Excel files include this material, so it's bring the group name for it, but there is no line for this material, gözlük, gömlek or others, so I have no group name for them. In this part we connected our Excel files and our views to each other with more than one field, and we created a table with our own data. Now we will have a 10 minutes break then we will go on with creating users or authentications.